In this academic session, I would like to start my discussion about my research, which is evaluation of flood determinants, evidence from Kalani River in Sri Lanka. As we all know, natural disasters can be considered as a major risk to whole world. Both natural and man-made hazards have been damaged to human lives, environment and economic assets. Among the different types of natural disasters, flooding is one of the recurrently occurring climatic-related disasters. In Sri Lanka, it is very rich with many water bodies, including 103 rivers, which are valuable gift from the Mother Nature. However, sometimes those resources are acting against the people. During the past decades, several places in Sri Lanka also were exposed to severe flooding, causing massive damages to human lives and properties. A famous place for recurrent flooding in the country finds by the sides of one major river called Kalani, and continuous damages reported in Kaduna Municipal Council limits where Kalani River flows through. Meanwhile, according to Kaduna Municipal Council documentary records, the annual average estimated cost is over 10 million in recent years. This emphasizes the alarming nature of the issue, and there is no evidence on findings to identify the factors that are contributing to this recurrent flooding in detail. Hence, it is vital to identify the determinants contribute to flooding in the particular area which is not discussed at the length yet. Through the literature, I was noted that many scholars views as flood is a result of extreme weather conditions such as heavy rainfalls, whilst some arguments are there that it is not merely based on natural factors. However, in some cases, maybe human activities also contributing. Therefore, the study aims to analyze the critical flood causing factors associated with the flood risks in Kalani River from the point of affected parties and at the same time using the experts' view. Finally, I suppose it will help to decision makers and planners to develop adaptive measures and policies to minimize flood hazard in the area. To conduct the research, I have found various findings relevant to my study. Only a few findings are shown here. It is also determined that among all hazards, flood is one of the main increasing problems all over the world as well as in Sri Lanka. As per the empirical findings of different scholars were identified that most responsible flood causing factors can be different from place to place and time to time. Therefore, identifying the causes are very important to the relevant authorities to overcome or mitigate the problem. It can be reduced. Millions of monetary resources are spent on recoveries and compensations by saving the economy of the country. With that background, in this study attempts to identify the flood causative factors in Kalani River area in Sri Lanka, which is significant from previous studies. This is the selected case study area, which is Kaduna Municipal Council limits belonging to administrative limits of District of Colombo, Western Province in Sri Lanka. This chart represents the methodology part. As this, the population of the study are two types of residents living in the flood-risk areas in Kaduna Municipal Council limits and few selected experts from the area. As per the discussion held with the Municipal Council officers, it was identified that there are 10 Gram Niladhari divisions that are normally vulnerable for flood. Out of the 10 divisions, the study selected for major flood risk Gram Niladhari divisions such as Kaduvela, Vakavath, Ranala and Navapur. To analysis, mixed method approach was used to both quantitative and qualitative analysis. 60 households were chosen from mentioned flood-affected areas based on systematic random sampling method to conduct questionnaire survey for quantitative analysis. Selected experts such as Gram Niladhari, member of Municipal Council, president of the trade union, and two leaders from village level societies who have more than 30 years living experience in this area are chosen for in-depth interviews for qualitative analysis. The data obtained from the residents via the questionnaire was evaluated using descriptive statistics. The expert impressions gleaned from interviews were evaluated using a qualitative method of the content analysis. The results are in next slides. Here displays the 10 flood causing factors were included to the questionnaire, which were based on Likert scale questions. Those were under two categorization and as natural and man-made factors identified through literature. Under natural factors, there are rainfall, wind, land, soil condition, and river characteristics. Under man-made factors, there are population increment, land use change, improper waste disposal, lack of drainage system, and violating regulations. This is the results. The descriptive statistics of the 10 variables are shown in this table. According to this table, the most significant flood causing cause is a lack of proper drainage system, followed by violation of existing rules and regulation, heavy rainfall, difficulties with the physical characteristics of the lands, and waste disposal in the area. The other parameters have little impact on the flood risks in the study area. Man-made causes are the most influential variables that enhance the flood risks in the Kalani River Basin compared to all other natural flood causing factors. Out of all the natural flood causing factors, heavy rain, especially first quarter of the year, and the issues related to physical characteristics of land are the only two significant factors that create an influence to flood risks in the area. Accordingly, the man-made factors that affected for flooding, lack of proper drainage system is the most significant factor that increases the flood risks in the area. There is no adequate system in place to reduce water congestion in low-lying areas and divert it to waterways or floodplains. Due to the filling up to floodplains, wetlands and forest water retention capacity and drainage are also concentrated and drainage system also interrupted. Further, violation of prevailing rules and regulations, malpractices of waste disposal have also become considerable flood-causing factor in the area. The people dispose waste into surrounding areas, abandoned lands and floodplains, etc. As a result, waste becomes trapped in drainage systems, reducing flood retention and water flow. After a deep observation on all four views, it is identified that there were 9 major flood-causing factors in Kalani River area. The summary is shown here about the content analysis. As per the comments of all 4 experts, lack of proper drainage system and encroachment were the most addressed flood-causing factors in the area. All of the respondents agreed that there is no appropriate drainage infrastructure in the Kaduveli city area to deal with water logging. As a result, collected water flows naturally to low-lying regions and near the city borders. Encroachments have already harmed the area's natural drainage system. Encroachments may be plainly visible on both sides of the river banks, according to experts, breaking the requirement of a minimum distance from the river. Constructing human settlements in river banks destroy the plantation along the river boundaries, losing the soil condition, hence increases the flood risk. Further, they have highlighted that the adverse effect of increase in population, informal land filling, and unauthorized development in the area. It is noted that many people like to move to Kaduveli town centre because of proximity to Colombo city with affordable land prices. When population increases, the demand for land and benefits also increase. As a result, when land supply is restricted, individuals aim to build unlawful constructions. Many commercial, industrial, and residential structures have been built closer to the river by filling marshy, paddy, and natural flood-prone regions, which is important. Unauthorized filling of these marshy regions and construction on those lands extends the time it takes for water to be retained in the surrounding areas. Other than that, some of them mentioned about the impact of sand mining, soil erosions, damages to water gates, and heavy rain on flood risks in the area. However, as the respondent stated, the real problem is that it takes a long time period to direct outflow water to the waterways due to lack of proper drainage system. Here it is the conclusion. The study explores to identify the significantly contributing factors on flooding Padwala Municipal Council limits. The findings obtained from both analysis methods concluded that man-made factors are the most influential factors for flooding in this area. Findings from residents' perceptions emphasize that non-availability of proper drainage system, violating rules and regulations, ineffective waste disposal are the major man-made flood-causing factors in the area. Also, heavy rainfall is a significant natural factor for the flooding in the area. The most positive factors for flooding are blockage of drainage system, improper waste dumping, as well as the natural factors like heavy rainfall, water were tally the findings of the study. Results of the content analysis that concluded that the views of the experts further justified that the same results, such as the non-availability of proper drainage system, as well as encroachments, increasing population, informal land filling, unauthorized developments, soil erosion along with sand mining, and no attentions on the maintenance of broken water gates are some other direct and indirect man-made flood-causing factors. Therefore, this study encouraged the immediate attention to construct and maintenance of proper drainage system as an inevitable factor, though it takes time. The relevant institutions and the leaders of the societies in the region are also working together to improve people's good attitudes in order to restrict unlawful acts. In order to reduce flood danger, improper trash disposal, unlawful developments, and sand mining in the region should be strictly monitored. Finally, it will be benefited for planners and decision makers to create adaptive measures and policies to mitigate flood risks in the area to ensure the sustainability of the area. Here I have attached some of my references for the study, and it is the end of this discussion. Thank you very much for listening.